Everybody, welcome back. It's Brad from bradnewton.tv. In this little video, we're going to talk about how to build muscle and strength fast, 4 steps. Now, it's going to seem like it's easy. It's actually hard work, but I'm giving it to you in like 4 steps that if you do these 4 steps, you will, without a doubt, irrespective of what your genetics are, you might think, well, I'm Brad, I'm a hard gainer, I'm a skinny guy. Like, there's no way that I can do these 4 steps and build muscle. Are you kidding me? Or, I have bad genetics, Brad. Just look at my family. Look at my dad. Look at my mother. Look at my grandparents. We're all fat. We're all overweight. We're all skinny fat. Irrespective of your genetics, they do play a role. If you apply the 4 steps, you can, everybody, and especially you, can build a great physique. Everybody. It's not impossible. It is proven in science. You can do it. It's just that you fed all this BS and no one really knows because everyone's confused. So let's clear the confusion. First step is if you want to build muscle and build strength, you must be in a calorie surplus. I talk more about the nutrition and the dieting side of this equation in a big course called Meal Planning Mastery. I also have, I'll go to my website actually. I should go there right now and I'll show you. So here's my website. So if you go to my website, bradnewton.tv, you click on fitness articles. I'm going to make myself disappear right now so you can see the screen. Now, I suggest, in terms of talking about a calorie surplus, you go and read this article, 3 Easy Steps to Calculating Macros for Weight Loss. Go and read this. I'll click on this right now, actually. You might as well do this right now while I have you. And if I scroll down, wait for this to load. Okay, so this is a little calculator. So what you'll do is you put in your weight. For example, me, I'm about 200 pounds. Body fat percentage, I'm about 8%. Then what you'll do is you'll select your activity level. So just say you want to do, I don't know, 3 hours of training a week in the gym. Then what that does is that starts to fill things out. You don't need to worry about what this all means right now. And then you're going to select bulk, right? Bulk is just like a slang term for building muscle, okay? And then it'll give you total calories. By the way, this number, 2,872, that's how many calories I need to be in a calorie surplus. And I need to be at a minimum of 2,872 thereabouts calories every single day to build muscle. If I'm less than this, if I'm in a cut, in other words, a calorie deficit, and I'm having 2,000 calories a day, then I'm not going to build muscle. I'm not going to build strength. It's just not going to work. Most people make this mistake. They don't get their calories right. They don't get their macros right. So protein, carbs, and fat. So when you set, you put in, as I said, you put in your details here. You can select pounds or kilograms. I put in pounds because I'm speaking to an American audience. So you guys are awesome, but I have mainly an American audience. So if you select bulk, you select, it gives you the total calories. You're going to stick to this as a minimum, and you might have to increase that, as time goes on, which I talk more about in Meal Planning Mastery. And then you got your protein, carb, fat, and then you just hit that every day. That's the calorie surplus thing that I was talking about in the slide. So you must be in a calorie surplus. Must. You can do, you can be a magician in the gym. You can do the most unique training program. I mean, you can do Arnold Schwarzenegger's training program and still be skinny fat if you fail step number 1. I can't stress that enough. If you don't do step number 1, you're going to fail. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm being honest. It's just not going to work. This course is not going to work. You're completely wasting your time. That's why number 1 is one of the most, it's the first one on the list. It's the first step. So I talk about how to do the calorie surplus thing in that article I just showed you, but I have a course called Meal Planning Mastery, and I go through all the details of that in much more detail, setting up meal plans and make it fun and eating food that you enjoy and that kind of stuff. So that's step number 1. Step number 2 is that you can be in a calorie surplus. You can have 10,000 calories every day, just hypothetically, and lift the heaviest weights in the gym, do everything else on this list, but don't get enough protein, and you've lost. Like, it's game over. Like, you won't build any muscle, and therefore you won't build any strength because you're not getting enough protein. You'll just plateau. you'll build a certain amount of muscle, but it's going to be nothing. And then your strength is going to plateau. If you don't get enough protein, your body is not going to be able to repair the muscles that you've broken down in the gym. Because when you lift weights in the gym, you're breaking down muscle fibers. And what needs to happen is the body needs to rebuild those muscle fibers, and it can't rebuild the muscle fibers without protein. And if you don't get enough protein, and I'm talking consistently, I'm not just talking about one protein shake whenever you feel like it, I'm talking between 0.8 grams to 1 gram per pound of body weight per day. If you don't do that, this is not going to work. You can be in a calorie surplus, you can lift weights until the cows come home, but if you don't get enough protein, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. So you got to do it every day though. And I always suggest getting from whole foods, such as chicken and beef and that kind of stuff, and get most of your protein from whole foods. But I understand we live in a busy world. It's hard to get all of your protein from chicken and beef and eggs and that kind of stuff because we travel, we work, we have families. I get it. So protein powder is recommended to help you meet the rest of your protein requirements. So for example, I'll give you context. I'm about 200 pounds, which means that I would need about 160, 170 grams of protein every day, up to about 200 grams of protein every day. 100 grams of chicken is about 20 grams of protein. So that's a lot of chickens. So, and my eye is really itchy, I apologize. So you need to, like I talk more about protein and how to get it and how to meet that requirement every day because I know that this is actually a challenge for most people when you're just starting out to get that much protein every day. How I did it when I first started was I slowly worked. I know it's not technically the right way, but it was the way that allowed me to build the habit to get more protein every day. I slowly built up to that on your screen. Like I didn't just go from zero to taking 200 grams of protein every single day. I was like, I had to train myself to have one protein shake and the two protein shakes, and then I had to train myself to have that extra serving of meat, that extra serving of, and at that time I was also vegan as well. I went through a vegan phase. So anyway, so it's going to be hard, but you can do it. I did it. It just took a bit of time. But remember, calorie surplus number one, protein, you do need it 100%. No matter what you're doing with your calories, you can get 3,000 calories, but 70 grams of protein, and you're not going to build muscle or strength, period. The next one on the list is heavy compound weightlifting, which is this course. This course is going to be step number 3. So you can be in a calorie surplus, you can eat big to get big, you can eat a lot of protein, but if you don't lift heavy things, you're just going to get fat. So in other words, if you go to that calculator that I showed you before and you eat your 2,800 calories every day, for example, based on your body weight, but you don't lift heavy things in the gym, if you don't do heavy compound weightlifting, then you're just going to get fat. That's what's going to happen. It's when you combine a calorie surplus, getting enough protein, with heavy compound, and I'll talk about what these terms mean in a second, with heavy compound weightlifting, then that package, those 3 pieces will equal building muscle over time, building strength over time. That is the fastest way of doing it as a natural person, no steroids. And then step number 4 is just repeat. So it's just doing step number 1, 2, and 3 over and over and over again. Every single day, you're going to eat a calorie surplus. Every single day, you're going to have your protein at 0.8 grams to 1 gram per pound of body weight per day. Every single day, not every single day, with weightlifting, you're going to train between 3 to 5 or 3 to 6 days per week. It's up to you. It depends on your schedule. It depends on how busy you are. It depends on your lifestyle. But minimum, this course calls for 3 days per week of weight training. So when I say repeat, I mean you're going to be consistently going into the gym and lifting things, right? Minimum 3 times a week. So that is it. You just do that consistently and you'll get results for men and women watching this. So thank you so much for watching, and we're going to get into this course right now.